y'all. I'm Big D, and welcome to Mosquito Springs. Y'all come up on the porch and get you something cold to drink. Today, Bobby Ray and me are joined by our good friend, Gusty Williams. Well, thanks, Big D. It's great being on the show today.
Hey, man, am I gonna be on the show today? I've got a really cool story about Willie Nelson, man. You just wouldn't believe it.
No. Winston, it's not your turn. We got Gusty on right now, okay?
Well, okay, man. Just let me know if you need me coming by. 'Cause I've got some really weird stuff to tell you, man. Yeah. Oh, and, hey, Gusty. How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm just doing great. Thanks, Winston. Hey, Big D. I found out Nadine really loves them windmills. Oh, you mean those big turbines that generate all that power? Yep, that's the ones. And she's just crazy about a big windmill. Well, did she tell you that? Oh, no. There was a bunch of them trucks with the windmill pieces coming toward us on the road. So we had to slide over to the rumble strip on the side of the road while we was driving toward them. You know that rumble strip makes the truck vibrate with that brrrr sound? And Nadine was just smiling and a-smiling. Pretty happy seeing those windmill trucks, huh? Oh, you wouldn't believe how happy. And when the trucks finally passed, I pulled back over in the lane, away from the shoulder, just to get us going again, and she yelled at me, "Get back on that rumble strips," and kept saying how that go-kart song by Garfunkel and Oates was really telling some truth. She did? She sure did. And you know that by being extra safe like that, it just made Nadine so very happy. She even lit a cigarette, and she don't even smoke. Sure sounds like she enjoys a good windmill. I know that's right. I bet you guys didn't know that the world's largest pink flamingo that we have here in town used to be a windmill. Now, that couldn't be true. You sure about that? If I'm lying, I'm a possum. Well, I'll be darned. I found that out when I started working with the new windmills. And I bet something else you didn't know. These wind farms double as an alien communications array. Whoa. You've got to be kidding. No way. And the town's original windmill that pumped the water into the city water supply is how space aliens first got here. I was just thinking I live out near that wind farm, and that must be why I have trouble getting the channel with wrestling on it. They're using up all the airwaves talking to aliens. I even met one of those little guys one day when I was out on a maintenance call after a big lightning storm. Now, you can't just leave us hanging with that. You got to tell us more. Well, normally, we've got systems that channel a lightning strike to the ground. But this time, it shot out through one of the blades and exposed the wood structure underneath. I pulled up to the windmill in my '66 Bronco and harnessed up with my climbing rig. Then I attached my grinder, sander, and all the other gear I need to make the repairs normally, and opened the door. Started up the ladder to do my 350-foot climb. Now, that sounds a mite scary to me. Oh, I love rock climbing, so it's not so bad. We use some of the same techniques, and I've repaired several surfboards. So repairing in fiberglass in a blade blowout is pretty old hat. Except you're a bajillion miles above the ground when you're doing it. It's really not that bad. Anyway, as I was climbing up, there was a real strange pulsating and vibrating sound you don't normally hear on the turbines, even when the wind is that high. Now, don't tell me those blades were still going round. No, we had already shut it down for repairs, so it wouldn't get more damage. And you wouldn't have to chase it down and jump on the blade, would you? Well, that too. As I got closer to the trap door at the top of the ladder, I noticed this really strange glowing goo buildup on the rungs. And it kind of had a strange, stinky, sweet smell. Now, I've seen fungus before, but this was definitely not fungus. Well, I opened the hatch and climbed out on top of the turbine, and the sky had turned a really reddish color, kind of weird. So I figured I was in for a pretty big wind. Then I clipped on my rope and rappelled down the blade that had blown out so I could fix the damage. Well, once I got to the spot I needed to repair, I strapped myself in, and I was straddling the blade and the wind was knocking me around, kind of like being on one of those mechanical bulls down at McCrady's. except you can't afford to get thrown off of this one. Well, I know that's right. I was just about to get the grinder started, and for some reason, I stopped a minute and looked up, and I saw someone or something looking out over the edge of the housing above me. Now, I came out here by myself, and there wasn't anyone else around for miles. Oh, now that's getting kind of creepy. Tell me about it. I still couldn't quite make it out, so I called out to it, but of course it couldn't hear me because of all the wind out here and where I was on the blade. Then it climbed out on top of the blade I was on, but without a rope. It was just doing that whole Spider-Man move, where it was just sticking to the blade, one hand over the other, except the hands were actually tentacles. And it just kind of had me stunned and was crawling toward me. Well, what'd you do? Well, I had to think of something quick, because the alien was on me faster than a duck on a June bug. The tentacles were on me so fast, and then we slid down a few feet. It's a good thing I was still harnessed in, or I would have fell right off that blade. Just then, I remembered, hey, I got 2 squeeze bottles of Uncle Roy's barbecue and bagel sauce. So, I spun them up with both hands and squeezed with all my might until the alien's tentacles were coated with the stuff. The creature just zoomed off the blade, kind of like you do when you're at the water park on that really, really tall slide. But right before he hit, a small luminescent spacecraft with rotating lights around its middle whooshed right past me and swooped up the alien. And then they were just both gone. Whoa, that was really using your noggin. You know, by using Uncle Roy's barbecue and bagel sauce, you really smeared that fella. Well, that's for sure. Today's episode brought to you by Nelda's Law Office and Massage Parlor. Whether you stole that pig or not, Nelda can get you off. We sure enjoyed having y'all stop by today. Be sure to leave a review and slap that subscribe button so you won't miss the crazy stories of Mosquito Springs. We'll see y'all next time.
Mosquito Springs and its townfolk were created and performed by Michael Sessoms.